be ride leaders and other things.
Yes, so we are gonna talk about ride leaders tonight. We have a lot of interesting short talks for you. And the first one up is Joe Etzler is gonna tell us about bike lights.
Bike lights, not bug lights?
Probably not the right one to talk about bike lights. Steve here worked on them, had worked there, and measured their light output and all that. Dr. Norm Dietrich knows a lot about the physics, or probably knows a lot about physics, because he has a doctor in electrical engineering. But I'm just gonna mention a few things about lights. We got lights everywhere on our bikes. Handlebars, the end of the bars, the forks, the spokes, the valve stems, the fenders in the back, and the seat stays and the chain stays. There are lights all over the place nowadays. Why do we have them? People see the lights a lot better. I don't see any measurements of that, but it's obvious that you can see people. And people can see you. Cars can see you better. Pedestrians, animals, everybody can see you better with a light. I'll get into the laws in a minute. Especially in tunnels. You ever notice if somebody in front of you goes in the shade of a tree or in a tunnel or underneath a bridge, how much that light really shows up? So, These are lights that we have on our bikes, are lights to be seen. We want to be seen. You can't see anything with these lights, but you can be seen with these lights. That's the important thing, being seen. Brightness, this looks bright, but you can look at it, it won't blind you. All LEDs roughly put out the same color of light and the same intensity of light, believe it or not. It's just the more power you put them into, the more total light you get out of. That's measured in lumens. If you want to get crazy, I'll tell you what a lumen is. It's 1 lux per square meter. It can be measured in talbots or nits. But all you really have to know, well, aluminum basically is 1 candelabra times 4 pi times ster radians. That's the official definition. But all it is amount of light versus brightness. Pin light is bright, but if you have a big light with the same brightness, you get more light. That's what lumens do for you. And we're lucky. The people that make bicycle lights usually rate them in lumens. The laws of the state of Ohio don't go along with that. They make it even easier. First of all, I'll talk about lights at night and lights during the day. These are daylight lights to be seen. This is a light to see something. A while back, the club was into riding at night. So they had all different kind of lights, and back then the LEDs weren't that good, so you had huge things. But I got this because I thought I would stay in it. This shows the difference between, there's only 3 LEDs in here. In this one, there's 9 when it works. You can look right in that and it won't bother you, but you can't see anything by it. So it has very few lumens. Here's something that has a lot of lumens. And I'll just flash it briefly. You don't want to look at it. It's bright. You can see about 40 to 50 feet in front of you. And that's very important. Because if you want to go 10 to 15 miles an hour, you have to see that far in front of you if you're on a dark trail. Otherwise, you're going to do like I almost did, ran over a skunk.
Yeah, stinky.
And, so that's the difference between brightness and total light measured in lumens. And LEDs got a lot more efficient over the years, and they got it so that they could flash them. Saves a lot of battery. This thing here will last about 4 hours, and cars can see that. The Ohio state laws don't say anything about daylight. They say if you're going to ride after sunset before sunrise, you have to be seen 500 feet in front. So you have to see your light 500 feet in front of you and 300 feet behind you. What does that mean? That's just a rough estimate. What will do that? A light in the front with 200 lumens, and I don't know how many lumens that is, but whenever you buy a bike light, it'll have the lumens on it, on the box, or should have it. 200 lumens in front and 30 lumens in back is a minimum that is suggested. But it's the footage that the laws say, 4511.56 in the Ohio code says you have to be seen 500 feet in front, or 500 feet from behind and 1,300 feet in front. That's not much. Like I said, I used to try to ride at night. You can see, at night, you can see a bike light all a long, long way. In fact, I bought one of those original LED ones. Had 5 LEDs in it. You could look at it, it would bother you a little bit. You could shine it up and you could see a quarter mile away, real easy. You shine it down in front of you, you could barely see your front tire. That's the difference between the old LEDs and the new ones. These are much brighter, more efficient. I don't want to blind anybody, but it even shows up there, you know. And this is good for about 40 feet in front of you. So you can do 10 to 15 miles an hour. And the thing is, you should aim it down too. You aim it up and you're gonna blind cars. When I was doing that riding at night with the group, I remember I went out in front and looked back at the group that was riding. It looked like 2 fire engines were coming at you. Cars were pulling off the road because they were not only being blinded by misaimed lights, but there were so many of them. So aiming your lights is kind of important too. Some of the drawbacks of lights, though, they can be too bright. Even these could be too bright in the rear, you know. Even if you look at that, it can be too bright. So watch the brightness and the aiming of the front lights. Even during the daytime, they can be too bright.
Joe, do you recommend having them blinking or solid?
What about blinking?
Do you recommend to have them blinking or solid?
I like blinking. That's another thing, extends the life of the battery. And your eye retains the light for a brief period of time. So it's just as visible, I think. It's a personal preference. Some of the drawbacks, they cost money, you know. Lights cost money. Some are expensive. I'd hate to pay for this thing nowadays. You gotta maintain them. You gotta charge the batteries. You gotta take them on and off your bike sometimes. Theft. You gotta worry about theft in some places. A lot of places they'll steal anything they can pop off of. And it adds a little bit of weight too. But one of the bigger things, drawbacks, is mounting them. You want to mount them so that, like this style here, aims pretty much to the rear, not this way, not up this way. You lose a lot of light depending on your lens. Again, Ohio State Code does not say you have to have a light during the daytime. We do because it increases visibility, but you don't have to have one. And the rule on a light at night, the rear light, is that it has to have visibility, what I say, 300 feet. If the light has a built-in reflector, you can use it without an external reflector. If it does not, you have to have an external reflector. But that's only if you're riding at night anyway, and I don't think anybody here rides at night. Anybody here ride at night? Yeah. Oh yeah? And what kind of light do you have?
You got all kinds. You name it, I got it. Hey, remember when you were 13? We used to use little generator lights when I was 13 years old. We used to ride at night when I was 13, little generator lights. Remember those?
Yeah.
They work pretty good.
A lot of
Well,
drag.
any questions about lights? I didn't want to go too deep into the scientific aspects of lumens. So if you look up lumens on the internet, it will drive you nuts. They measure light in any different way, shape, or form because light is different. Every source of light is a little different. Fluorescence different than incandescent, different from LEDs, different from arc lighting, different from what the yellow headlights used to be on cars. They're all different. And Steve here measured lumens from bicycle lights, right? Or flashlights.
Yeah.
Did you do any work on bicycle lights, or was it all?
A few, yeah.
Few, yeah. Any questions about lights? Yeah, Pat.
Not a question, but I have a comment that most all of them are rechargeable now, so you don't have to use batteries.
Yeah, most all the new ones, although some of the bigger ones have batteries, and like that one there has a battery. And it'll last a while, small, they're very efficient nowadays. They're 6 times more efficient than an incandescent light, LEDs are. Yes.